Mohamed Hosayni, Economic Committee Director in the United Nations, to speak with us about his impression and his views regarding the 48 hours or the two-day conference, the monthly youth conference, which this time took place in the southern city of Aswan with the participation of more than 1,300 Egyptian youth from Upper Egypt governorates, and of course with the attendance of participation of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, along with many ministers, many members of the parliament, and also high-ranking officials. Thank you, sir, very much for being with us. Have a very good day first.
Morning, ma'am.
Good morning, and let's first talk about those two successful days in Aswan. One of the very remarkable highlights of the youth conference since it began. That particular, the brilliant idea of choosing Aswan as a destination for the second monthly conference, and choosing, people of Al-Nuba and people, the nationals from Aswan. It's reflecting not only economic vision, wide economic vision, but also a cultural and social and political one. Yeah. Because lots of other Western media outlets were hinting or targeting the minorities in Egypt and neglecting minorities and all that, though that we do not even use that term of minority here in Egypt at all. Yeah. The president very smartly used Aswan, or have taken or chose Aswan to be his destination for this year's, this month's youth conference. How do you describe it? How do you see it?
Actually, first I wanted to congratulate the youth and the administration of the country for the successful outcome of this conference. And the choosing Aswan, it's first the first priority of thinking why we choose Aswan, because Aswan in the first place and the Upper Egypt since the last 3 decades have been removed from the development. And those people, which is our brothers and the Egyptian citizens over there, let's say they didn't take as what the citizen in the capital and in the north take. So based on that, we return back to the history of Aswan and the history of our Egypt, and that place, it was look like a message to the whole world that before Egypt was being ruled from the Upper Egypt.
That's true.
Yeah, and that's why we are returning back to our roots. We are building in our youth the nationalization, that how you can be a citizen and how you can return back to your roots, because in the last 3 decades or 4 decades there was a big gap between the youth and between the administration. When you talk about a president or a minister or any representative of the government and you talk to the youth is waving the words, because they are not seeing any improvement. They are just seeing promises and words, and there is nothing happening in the ground. So when you talk like that, you need to come to them in them lands, and you come to the people, they are really in needs. And the Upper Egypt, it was undeveloped for 45 years. So going back to them, see the people, how they was welcoming the president, how this old lady go to him, and she told him, they told me I will be shooted, but I come to you because I know you will welcome your people. And you see how he give her the water, and how he take all her complaints, and he give it an effective way, wave that and come to Aswan. The strategic geographic position of Aswan, this is where before in the 70s when we make the high dam. The high dam, we was in that particular time, we was in the same challenges, economic, security, but there was a war. But we have an economical war and we have a terrorism war against us. So he was delivering, President Fattah delivering the same message, that in the 70s we come here and we build the high dam. And here in 2017 we are returning back to the same city, but we are developing and we are making our brothers and the citizens there, and especially in Nuba, and delivering a message to everyone that we can reach those in need wherever they are in the country. And that's why he said it's not just Aswan or Cairo. We will come in every state every month to see our people, the needs to them, and the youth. He is now connecting he is look like working in a teamwork. When you see the dialogue of the conference, for any conferences happened in the world in the last 5 years, in Europe, in the United States, in Africa, in Asia, even in the Gulf region, there is no a youth conference have been done between the top of the administration and the youth, because always the youth, they are active, and they have the ego of the challenges, and they always complaining about whatever they are facing. So you have a president, have this patient, and he listened to all the complaints with an open chest to each one, and he is bringing those who represent the government, the ministers, especially that young...
This was my coming question, sir, regarding this issue in specific.
Yeah.
The 90 minutes where President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, in each day, by the way, was listening to the youth who were participating in this edition of the youth conference. He was very much keen to, for example, to call on Dr. Mohamed Shakir al-Marqabi, Minister of Electricity, answer this question and how the Bani Suwaif station is working, for example. Someone asked about Councillor Adli Mansour access. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi called on Dr. Jalal al-Said to come and to answer this question. Something about housing. Dr. Mustafa Madbouli of housing, please answer this. I mean, he was not the only one to answer. He asked the ministers to speak and in detail and with numbers and statistics. But sir, why do we know these things only in these occasions? I mean, in every ministry there is a media representative and there is a media department, to be accurate. Why we don't have press releases, for example, from each of these departments to know and in detail all the developments? And why it's only in this occasion
or in any conference? You will make an announcement. I'm with you in that, but you need to understand that in the last 2 years what you are facing or what you are fighting here is the bureaucratic system, and the bureaucratic system we are living in, it's not an easy work that it can go in a year or two. It needs minimum 10 years. So why President Fattah al-Sisi exactly or precisely he did that? He bring the minister and he listened to the complaint and they put them together and he was monitoring. I will just remind you when that young man talked about Kima, and this problem is happening to them. And then the governor there, he said that there was a study, and then the minister there was a study. President Fattah al-Sisi, he talked the speaker and he said there is no study. Let's do it now.
Let's go and see.
Let's
not inspect it ourselves.
Let's not put the final. Let's go there and see on the ground what is the situation. Why he do that? Because he is doing now what you are asking. You are asking now me as the minister or whatever the department I'm representing. I must come every week, not every day, every week, coming a newsletter in my website or even in the media saying the improvement or the development or whatever I did in this week. You are right. But you cannot do that in a system. It's not yet it's not yet electronic. So in all the ministers and the governments, the connection between the electronic, let's say the electronic system to spread all the news in the social media. This is number one. Number two, to have a report. All of them now, they want to do the achievements they will talk about, because they don't have any achievements before on the ground. It was all just numbers, it was all just words and promises, and administration changing for administration. So when you talk about that, how many governments have been changed in the last 4 years? So when you see it like that, when the minister is coming, he is already opening his paper and doing his plan. There is before him a minister, he did the same thing, but he didn't continue. So he will erase that. And
to start every time from scratch, not to build from where the previous one ended.
It's supposed to be like that. That's how it's doing now. That's why President Fattah al-Sisi now is connecting the points in the table. Everyone having a file of, I'm not talking about complaint, I'm talking about the development, because you are facing now, inshallah, this is what's happening in our country, a sustainable development in each place in Egypt. And he is going there, he is not taking a report, he is going there and checking. And he's talking to you, and he is following the media, he is following the social media, he is following the international organization, he is following everywhere. Why he is doing that? that's hard for a man. This needs a Superman to do all of that. But he was hungry as a citizen to find a person in the top of the administration of your country is really aware, and he is really caring about you as a citizen to change the way of living you are doing. Yeah, we are all suffering in the meantime. Maybe we have before talking about the floating of the pound and the uprise of the prices of everything. Yeah, we are all facing a hard time. We are not here saying just a promises.
It is worldwide.
It's worldwide. That's what I'm saying. Look to the communities or the people abroad, the culture and how they deal with them administration, and look to how we deal with our administration in the time that our administration is working for us by full power. Look now the outcome of the Aswan conference. What happened? He put 5 points announcing this development authority for Upper Egypt. This is
Golden Triangle?
No, not the Golden Triangle. There is a government authority for the development with a 50 billion pound. This is big. This is not nothing small. And the housing ministry, that there is 1,300 apartments will be
200 factories.
This is for the industrial, the new industrial zone they are making in Nova. The lady there, she was saying that we need factory or two. We have a big open area. Then the president told her, we are making now a zone, an industrial zone.
Industrial zone, yes.
So going to those places in needs and categorize your budget and sending to those who really in needs and going to the last part and the last line of our country, you deliver one message, which how President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi ended up his conference saying what? I'm giving a message to everyone that who we was fighting. Look to those countries was in crisis. Why they didn't come back? Look to this. This is an important message. We need to understand that those countries really didn't come back, and those citizens already the refugees worldwide. But we still have our land, and we was in the most difficult and dangerous situation more than them. How many country, how many organization, how many inside try to pull Egypt down and make us all upside down and all us apart. What happened? We become more united. Yeah, we have issues and we have problems, but we are facing, we are not taking the pain reliever. Why? Because he is doing that with his administration. I'm not coming here to say President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi is a good man and nothing. I'm saying what are the facts this person he have did in the country. That's what I'm saying. You cannot.
You're talking about Egypt and the leap that it has taken.
Yeah.
Throughout but let's talk more in detail about the programs, the projects that were taken by the head of state lately and were announced through the Aswan conference. I mean, a bouquet of projects.
A lot of things.
One can never believe it unless they see it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, actually, what have been done? You know, when you talk about this schema project over there, there was a problem between the communication to the citizen and the department over there. So, what have been done yesterday? It was not about the projects or about the development. It's about the communication, the community and the connection. You have combined it together between your administration and the citizens. Me, personally, for the first time, and I have traveled worldwide, for the first time I saw citizens, they really love or they really admire them president as how we saw yesterday. He already communicated and he make the dialogue, he make it open to everyone. There is no anyone over there have read that and he have just review it in the front of the prison. It's not selected. No, it have been random selection. Whoever come there, he come. And he said, and that guy, he was afraid to talk. He said, why are you afraid?
What comes from the heart goes to the heart.
That's what I'm saying.
Ambassador Dr. Mohamed Hosayni, Economic Committee Director in the United Nations, thank you very much for your input, sir. Have a very good day.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
And by this, we come to the end of this episode of our breakfast show. My name is Nermeen Abdurrahman, and I had all the pleasure to have with me my dear colleague, Nina Hassan.
My pleasure, Nermeen. And this is where we end it, and we'll see you again tomorrow with another new crew. Until then, that's a goodbye.